Welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with a Fox News alert. At this hour, we are tracking multiple major breaking news stories, including two very contentious debates from hotly contested races in Virginia and New York City. Yep, that mayoral race. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, you have the Republican incumbent Attorney General Jason Miyares finally got a chance to confront his opponent, Democrat Jay Jones, over recently unearthed text messages where Jones is fantasizing about the murder of the Republican leader in the state legislature and his young children, along with several police officers. Take a look.
Let's be clear. There's a reason why the Fraternal Order Police, the PBA, and every single major law enforcement association in the state of Virginia has not just endorsed me, Jay. They've said you need to drop out. And I find it a little bit stunning that today you say one of the pillars of your public safety platform is protecting children. Were you protecting Jennifer's children when you said you wanted to see them die in their mother's arms? How can anybody who's ever worked in any of the crimes against children, all of the areas of federal and state local law department, how can they ever take you seriously, be the top prosecutor, knowing that you view that children should die to advance a political agenda? It's unconscionable, and if you were truly sorry, you would not be running for this office because you disqualified yourself.
By the way, for the record, a well-moderated debate, not like in New York City. And in case you're wondering, Jay Jones responded, predictably, let's attack Donald Trump. In fact, Jay Jones talked about Trump ad nauseum. You would think Trump is running for Attorney General in the Commonwealth. Anyway, Jason Miyares will join us in just a moment. That's coming up straight ahead tonight. Also, New York City mayoral candidate Curtis Sliwa, he will be here. His debate against both Andrew Cuomo and devout socialists. We call him Zoran Kami, the Marxist Mamdani, just wrapped up. Take a look.
Thank God I'm not a professional politician. We have the architect and we have the apprentice of no cash bail, which has been a disaster. We have the architect and the apprentice here of Raise the Age. My own son was almost killed because of that in a gang attack.
All right, just to be clear, put this in perspective. Probably the single worst moderated debate in the history of this country. But we'll have highlights of both debates that's coming up straight ahead. Plus, big new polls out of Virginia and New Jersey. Wow. Both races have tightened dramatically. When you see these numbers, you will be surprised. Both blue states. Anyway, we'll check in with Matt Towery and Robert Cahaley. They are here. We also have breaking news tonight from Maryland. Ex-National Security Advisor John Bolton has been indicted by a federal grand jury on 18 counts surrounding the alleged mishandling of classified national defense material. Remember, not long ago, it was Bolton. He was out there cheering for the lawfare against President Trump and called on him to withdraw from the 2024 election. Jonathan Turley, Trey Gowdy weigh in. Tonight, it is clear. Trump haters across the country, they're not doing well. On Capitol Hill, Democrats are humiliating themselves. They are hurting everyday Americans in what is a giant performative stunt that never stops. They are still refusing to open the government, unless, of course, Republicans agree to a whopping $1.5 trillion increase in spending for their far-left pet projects, including health care for illegals, NPR, PBS. But in a shameful example of gaslighting, these Democrats now are blaming Donald Trump for the shutdown. No, it's not him. He supports the continuing resolution fund government at their current levels. Americans, they're not buying it. Take a look.
How do you think this shutdown reflects on Chuck Schumer's leadership?
Well, I think it reflects more on Mike Johnson's leadership and President Trump's leadership. This is a leadership which said it's okay to give well, how do you feel? You tell me. Think it's a good idea to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the richest people in the country and then make massive cuts to health care for working class people?
I think Chuck Schumer has voted for continuing resolutions 13 times in the last 4 years, and he has the opportunity to vote for one again, but he's refusing to come to the table.
I think, look.
The House passed the bill. Now it's Chucky Schumer, shut down Schumer. You know, there you go. The person who joined Bernie on the stage might just be the actual cause of the shutdown. That's Socialist Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, reportedly poised to primary Minority Leader Chucky Schumer from the left, and he is desperate to prove himself to his party's radical base. Therefore, he's going to put aside a lifelong position of never supporting a shutdown. But don't take my word for it. Take a look at the reaction from Bernie and AOC when fake news CNN asked about this very topic. Take a look.
Are you saying that Senator Schumer should not be worried about a primary challenge from you?
I mean,
All right.
no.
Let me jump in on this one. This is what we're
talking about.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
This is what we're
You have a
talking about.
country that is falling apart. We had a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, an education crisis, massive income and wealth inequality, a corrupt campaign finance system, and the media says, "Oh, you're going to run. What are you going to run for?" Nobody cares. She'll run more towards
Nobody cares.
It's the House Speaker and President Trump and the Vice President saying it.
Right.
Pardon?
Well, of course, they're saying it to deflect attention away from the real issues.
Exactly.
Fight the oligarchy tour and take your private jet with you. Truth is, doesn't matter what Chuck Schumer does. That's the truth. These are the leaders, the true leaders of the Democratic Party. Hakeem Jeffries, Chucky Schumer, they're leaders in name only. But if you look at AOC, Grandpa Bernie, that is the brain trust. It is the Democratic Party's heart. It is their soul. And that should be concerning to every American. For example, here's another moment from the fake news CNN town hall. AOC proclaiming that Deloitte, an accounting firm, was causing rivers to burn with pollution. Okay, take a look.
You know what this country looked like before the EPA? Rivers in rural areas were on fire because of corporations poisoning the people who lived in those areas. Poor middle-class communities getting poisoned and dumped on by corporations like Deloitte and 3M, pouring chemicals into these places. And they want to call it a Democratic priority. And that's why they want to eliminate the FDA.
The answer, new Green Deal communism. AOC is deeply concerned about, quote, drinkable air. Can't make it up. Take a look.
They're trying to make this about political tabloids and political intrigue and horse races, exactly the kinds of things that people are sick of in this country. We're sick of it. We're sick of talking about these horse races, and we're sick of leaders who only want to spend their time talking about that instead of talking about real issues that affect our lives. Instead of talking about health care, instead of talking about wages, instead of talking about having air that's drinkable, air that's breathable and water that's drinkable.
One or the other. Anyway, but maybe the biggest priority for AOC and her fellow comrades is taxpayer-funded health care for illegal immigrants. Now, which, by the way, the Congresswoman is calling a human right. Take a look.
Do you think that taxpayers should be paying for the medical care of immigrants that are in the country illegally? Thank you.
Well, we already know, and this is a common lie that Republicans have been repeating.
Do you think undocumented immigrants should have access to federally funded health care?
I believe personally that health care is a human right. I believe that every person should be able to go to the doctor, but I believe that right now, federal law is the federal law.
If you could choose, do you believe that the federal law should be changed?
I don't. I believe in a single-payer health care system where if you go in and you need a doctor, you can get the medical attention that you need.
Of course, I believe in health care, taxpayer-funded health care for illegals and all the other services you can think of. To be clear, right now, this is the very best the Democratic Party has to offer. At least AOC is, well, somewhat honest. The rest of the party, is a performative far-left clown show, filming themselves, pretending to resist Trump, pretending to stand up to Speaker Johnson, pretending to work hard to reopen the government. But in reality, it is all just one big ploy for attention that nobody is buying. Take a look.
In the past, Democrats in government shutdowns, whenever there's been even a possibility of it, they would stand tall that that's not the way to do things, always.
The government does not have to be shut down. It doesn't have to be shut down. We can
Senator,
fix this
now
here
you're just parsing,
in a matter of just a couple days. This could be easily solved
to
by
go
sitting
past
down
cloture,
at the
to
table.
get past 60, To get past 60, you need some Democrats to reopen the. That's what's going to happen, Senator. You close the government down because you want $1.5 trillion for all these different things that Schumer wants. It's obvious to everyone, although, maybe you can convince the public that it's the Republicans, but it's not.
Now, this dumpster fire will no doubt impact November's off-year elections. And, of course, it doesn't help that Democrats are once again running terrible candidates. And in Virginia, Republicans might just pull off an upset. Look at this new poll out tonight from Trafalgar. That's Robert Cahaley. Insider Advantage. That's Matt Towery. Look at this. Gubernatorial candidate Winsome Sears has closed a double-digit gap, now trails by only 2 points, well within the margin of error. Republican incumbent Attorney General Jason Miyares now leads by 5. And in New Jersey, look at the big blue state of New Jersey. This poll just dropping right now, this hour, a big pickup for the GOP. Republican Jack Ciattarelli is within about a point of Democrat Mikey Sherrill.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.